So yeah, we're here to talk through a little bit about service blueprints, a bit of the background, and how we can actually apply them through various scenarios and use cases. So what is a service blueprint? So for anybody, I guess around the service design sphere, they might know Nielsen Norman Group. It's more or less one of the, I guess, better known and trusted places to get a terminology from in terms of service design. So they basically defined a service blueprint as a diagram that visualizes the relationships between different service components, people, evidence, and processes directly tied to touch points in a specific user journey or customer journey. So really, it's something that articulates an end-to-end process or part of a process, gives you a holistic view, top to bottom, end to end, and it's much more than just a process map or a customer journey map, although it is made up partly of customer journey map or user journey map, but it tells you a lot more. It gives you a bit more of a holistic view of what the scope of the service or multiple journeys that you're looking at. So a bit on the background. So service blueprints were originally derived from the service design discipline. So that's where it's generally associated these days as well. But I guess it is bleeding into other disciplines like business analysis and UX and those sorts of roles and discipline types. Basically, it's centered around making sure that your users are front and center, you're satisfying their needs, although it does more than, as I said, a customer journey map, and that basically ties in organizational processes, front end, back end, sort of supporting mechanisms as well. And I guess it gives you a holistic view of a service so that you can organize around the user and make sure that their needs are front and center, and make sure that you can actually, sequence their needs in the most logical way. So here we go. It goes back to 1984 when it was first described by Gillian Shostak in the HBR. So nearly as old as me, giving away my age. Initially approached from not a service design perspective, but marketing and management. But then as the years have gone by, it's changed and evolved. So when first described, Shostak noted that it wasn't just products that provided value to users, but the associated services as well. So as I said, when you're looking at a service blueprint, it gives you the top to bottom, end to end view. So not just the touch points for the user, it's everything associated with that. And then one of the other, I guess, pioneers of the method, so Jane Kingman Brundage, again, a management consultant and academic, extended the framework and into what it's more familiar format. And then, obviously 30, 40 years have passed since then. And various other people have contributed and evolved it as we've gone along. So there's a little bit of a timeline. I'm happy to share these slides to anybody who wants them, but there's some sort of key touch points along the way that have led us here. So it continues to evolve, continues to, I guess, be more widely used. And I actually took this from a interesting paper that was done by a lady in Norway. So reference that there as well if anybody wants to dig into that further. So what are the benefits of service blueprints? So I touched on this a little bit. It gives you that end-to-end, top-to-bottom view. You visualize the entire service network, not just a particular portion, not just a particular process. And it helps you break services into logical components and sequence those steps in the most, I guess, logical way within a process, because you have a view of what comes before and after and what supports things. So why do you need a service blueprint? Well, among other things, understanding pay points with the user's experience. Yes, you can understand that through a customer journey map or user journey map, but you're probably not going to understand the organizational impacts as well as you might. A journey map might be a starting point, but I guess if you want to go deeper, a service blueprint's where you want to be. It helps you discover weak points in the organization. So as I said, if you just look at the customer journey, I guess that's only one slice of the pie. It helps you understand what supports that, what the front stage actions are, what the backstage actions are, and also helps you identify those opportunities for improvement. So just because you make a tweak at the front end doesn't mean that's going to have the greatest impact. If you don't understand everything in between, then you don't know what to change. So who should be involved? So this, I guess, differs depending on, your environment and organisation and who you have available to you. But a team as a whole should understand the scope of the blueprinting initiative. You need to, I guess, have a broader range of input based on the scope of the blueprint as well, and really hone in on specialist knowledge depending on what phase or what section of a service or blueprint you're looking at. So, for example, we've done some work with the Clean Energy Regulator recently, put together a really big service blueprint, which touched across multiple different line areas. And to accurately put that together, you need to go and actually talk to all of those different areas and understand what they do, why they do it, as well as the users that are involved in that as well from a external user perspective. Okay, so what are the components? So basically you've got four main components of a service blueprint. You've got the user actions. What's the user doing in the, I guess, in the interaction with the service? What do they see, or what are the on-stage actions? So things that are visible to them. And then that's between on-stage and backstage. That's referred to as the line of visibility. Below the line of visibility, you've got backstage actions where it's the behind the scenes stuff that the users aren't aware of, all the supporting processes that go into complementing the service. And yeah, I guess anything that supports that service that they might not be aware of. And then that's roughly how it would be constructed. Obviously, you can take things in any direction you want, put together any sort of graphics and I guess take your own spin on things, but more or less it's constructed in those layers. Okay, so it's a lot of talking and theory and stuff. To give you a bit of context on what it might mean. So say you've walked into a bar, you go up to the bar and you order a drink. That ordering of the drink is a user action, so that's the top line of the service blueprint. You request the bartender make you a drink. They grab a bottle and pour you a drink. So that's, I guess, one of the on-stage actions. That's something that you're aware of. And then that's probably as much as you know about the process as a user. There's a whole lot of other stuff that happens behind the scenes. So you've got, kitchen making food, backstage actions. You've got a user action there where you order off the menu and you order your food, but you have no idea what's going on in the kitchen, as well as all the support processes like ordering the alcohol, ordering, managing rosters and things like that. So if you map that out, that gives you, I guess, a good understanding of how this might give you a better view of, how everything fits together. So how would you actually build one of these? So step one, obviously, is to define your scope. What's the service you want a blueprint or, section of a service? Step two, go through the user touch points. So user actions, go through the top line. And then you, I guess, do more and more granular research to hone in on what that user does, how they feel, any pain points, and I guess layer by layer start unraveling the whole picture and go and talk to more users, more areas involved in the on-stage, backstage actions and support processes. And then I guess you need to find a logical place to stop as well. So you could go on forever potentially, but yeah, you've got to stop somewhere. And generally, you know, the more you hear something over and over again, if you're talking to more and more people, it's a good place to stop. If you're not learning anything new, then you know you probably come to the end of where you need to be before you I guess start looking at opportunities. And that's all we had for today.